Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Do It Yourself. I wish you Merry Christmas and Happy New Year in advance. Today we shall be taking a look at the Custodian Declaration Form for minors, that is children under the age of 17. Most times these children are being categorized under the age of 18, that is 18 years and below, but sometimes children above 17, like between the age of 17 and 18, they do get some kind of waiver. Sometimes they don't ask for it, but if you are below the age of 17, you need to provide this form, that is the Custodian Declaration Form for minors. If you are trying to study in abroad, if you are trying to study in Canada, you need to provide them with the Custodian Declaration Form, which will be signed by both parents and guardians in Canada. So you need to sign the form in your country, and the person that will be hosting you, be it your guardian or the person you will be staying with in Canada, he or she needs to sign the form also. So we'll be taking a look at the form. This tutorial today is basically for minors. It's basically for, like, let's say children under the age of 18, children that are trying to apply for a study permit in Canada, or they are trying to apply for a visa in Canada. So they need to fill this Custodian Declaration Form, and it has to be by their parents or guardians and the other party that will accommodate them in Canada. So let's take a quick look at the form. So we have the form here. This is what it looks like. Custodianship Declaration. This is the form, custodian for minors studying in Canada. So if you are applying to study in Canada, you need to fill this form. So I will just go straight with filling the form. So we have here first the family name. We have you can also download this form online. I will send the link. I will attach the link on where to get this form. I will attach it to this video, so you can work the form also. You can check it out. You can download and see how to fill it. So let's start with the family name. Let's say John Doe. Citizenship, let's go with Nigeria. And for the date of birth, let's go with, let's say 2007. Since we are filling this form for minors, let's say 2007. Yeah, so 2007. Then let's say male, or name and address of school in Canada. You need to input the name and address of your school in Canada. So let's look at, let's say Lakeland College. Then the address of 5707 College Drive, Vermilion, Alberta, T9X. Let's say K5, Canada. So address where students will reside in Canada. Let's say the students will be residing in the school college also. So let's look at something like, let's say 5700 College Drive, Vermilion, AB, T8X 2K6. Let's say that's the address where the students will reside in Canada. So we have the parents' guidance information here, preferably from both parents. That is, it will be filled by both parents, the father and the mother. So let's go with the first. Let's go with the father first. Family name John. Let's say John Mark. That's the father's name. So father's date of birth. We're trying to fill the father's date of birth here. Let's say 90. Let's say 1980. 9080. Then you need to input the home address here, the residential address. So let's say 24 Bishop Luke Avenue, Lagos. Let's say Ikeja, Lagos. Ikeja, Lagos. Ikeja, Lagos. And telephone number 234-81-070-5246. Just input your telephone number here, and for the mother's name here, so let's copy this John. Let's say John Deborah here. That's the mother's name. And date of birth, let's look at, let's say 1985. Oh, 1985. Okay, that's the mother's date of birth. Then residential address, same, we are using the same residential address here. And phone number, the mother's phone number 23490. That's the mother's phone number. Now custodian information, that is the person your child will be staying with in Canada. So let's look at, let's say your child will be staying with Mrs. Alfred Janet. So your child will be staying with Mrs. Alfred Janet. So we can assume that this is one of your sisters. So let's say Canadian citizen. So you need to fill the custodian information here. Let's look at 1980 something also. 1980 something. Let's say 1988 here. Let's say 1988 here. Okay, good. Now the custodian information, the custodian home address. So for here, you need to put the custodian home address here, the person your child will be staying with. Let's say 782 here, 782 Crescent Way. Oh, please kindly note that I'm only trying to generate all this information. The address some of the address might not be valid and some might be valid. Just know I'm just selecting random information here. I'm just picking random address here. There's every possibility that the school address is valid. Yeah, the school address here, I think this is the school address here, but other information are just random information. So you need to verify that the information you are inserting here are accurate. So let's go with the home address, Crescent Way, and say 2C2B 2S9. Let's say 2S9. So we can go with Calgary, Alberta also, and Canada. So that's the custodian address. And phone number, you need to insert the phone number here also. For the number, let's say we have something like this. Let's say we have 682-000. Yeah, so that's the telephone number. Then you need to come here, you need to read what we have here. The application of the official seal below confirms that the notary public has received evidence that the custodian is a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident and is over 19 years of age and currently resides at the home address stated above. That is, the information we have here, the address we have here, all the details we have here is confirmed and valid. and the person here is currently above 19 years of age, that is when you can act as a guardian or a custodian. So you need to like declare this with your name. You need to declare this with your name. Alfred. This part is for the custodian right now. Alfred Janet. So this is the declaration. I, Alfred Janet, hereby solemnly declare that I will undertake the full custodianship for the said student. So what is the name of the student here? We have John Doe. So I, Alfred Janet, hereby solemnly declare that I will undertake the full custodianship for the said student John Doe during their stay in Canada while under the age of majority in the province in which they reside. That is for the time frame, for the period of time while the child is still a minor. You will be a custodian, you will be the guardian, you will continue to guide the child till the child is above the minor age. So as a custodian, I have made the necessary arrangements for the care and support of the said student in place of the parents as appropriate. By signing this custodian agreement, I certify that I reside within a reasonable distance of the student's intended residence and school and will be able to fulfill my obligations as a custodian in the event of an emergency. So you need to read, you need to know what you are signing here. You don't just fill your details here. You need to let the custodian knows what they are signing here. Even if it happens to be your family, your brother or your sister, you just need to let them know. They have to be aware, because if there is any emergency, they will be the first person the school will contact or the immigration will contact. Then you need to put the signature. The custodian has to sign here, the signature here. So you can either print this out and append your signature, or use the Adobe Acrobat to sign it. If you are good with that, you can use the Adobe Acrobat to sign it electronically, then input the date you signed and you date it. Once you are done with the form, you need to sign this form with the signature of the notary. You need to take it to the notary, so they have to notarize the form. This form has to be notarized with the official seal, and this part should be notarized in Canada. This part right here should be notarized in Canada. As you can see, this first page, this page 1 of 3 should be notarized in Canada. Kindly take note of that, because the declaration is being made by the guardian, by the custodian in Canada. So the declaration we have here is I, Alfred Janet, that is name of custodian. So note that this declaration here and the notary seal here, the notary signature and the notary seal here should be from Canada. All the informations we are going to put here should be in Canada, because this is actually for the custodian. This part 1, this page 1 of 3 is for the custodian here. We still have other informations below, but this current part, kindly note that is for the custodian. So it should be signed and notarized in Canada. Alfred Janet should be the one to sign the signature of the custodian with date. Then this one that should be a city in Canada, a province in Canada, then the country should be in Canada with the date which it was being signed and notarized. The signature of the person that notarized the form will be here, and while the official seal of the notary public would be here also. So now this is the second part. We have just two parts, the part for the custodian and the part for the guardians or parents. So basically all you have to do is here is to just repeat the same information you have above. So we have John Doe, citizenship of Nigeria. So we have the date of birth 2002 June 19, 2002 June 19, male here, 2002 June 19. June 19. Then name of school in Canada, you can just copy everything you have here. Name of school in Canada. name and address where students will reside in Canada. You can copy also. You can copy this also. Then the family information, you can copy the family information also. We have John Mark as the family. John Mark. And then date of birth, we have 1980 6, that is June 4, that is for the father. And the telephone number, we can copy the telephone number also. You have the telephone number here. Same thing applies here. Family name, we have John Deborah if I'm right. Yeah, John Deborah. We have the same residential address, 1985 523 1985 1985 May 23rd. So we can copy the telephone number also. So we have the telephone number here. Now we need to input the custodian information. We need to repeat it. We have Alfred Janet. We have Alfred Janet. We have Canadian citizen on the residential address. Then the date of birth, we have 1988 3:30 30th of March 1988 30th of March 1988 1988 March 30th. On the telephone number, we can copy the telephone number also. Telephone number, so we have my or slash our child will reside, that is, where is your child going to, where will she be staying, where will he or she be staying. So we have with the appointed custodian in the school dormitory or with another person. So for this purpose, the child will be staying in the school dormitory. So because the address we input there was in the college, so for this purpose we can choose in the school dormitory. So now you need to declare this form also. I, the parent name, that is the first parent here, John Mark, and John Deborah. That is the names of the parents. The parents of John Doe hereby grant full custodianship to Mrs. Alfred Janet here. So now you can read this also. During the students stay in Canada while they are under the age of majority in the province in which they reside, I have made the necessary arrangement for the care and support of the said students, such that the custodian should act in the place of me/us, the parents. By signing this custodian agreement, I/we affirm that I am/we are satisfied the above appointed custodian resides within a reasonable distance of my/our child's intended residence. and school, and will be able to fulfill their obligations as a custodian in the event of an emergency. Same declaration we made above, that is the same declaration we're making here also. So the first was for the parent, was for the custodian, and the second one is for the parent here. So we have the signature of the first parent. The first parent is going to sign here and with date, sign with date. Then the second parent is going to sign here with date. You can print this out and sign, or you can sign electronically using Adobe Acrobat or any Adobe reader you can use. Then we have some before me at, now this is for Nigeria here. This is for Nigeria. The address should be in Nigeria. Then the signature of the notary here should be a notary from your country, from your home country. So if you are filling this form from another country, let's say you are applying from Ghana, you are going to sign and notarize this from Ghana. So wherever country you are filling this form from, that is the signature and the notary you are going to put here. But the first part, the first part is for the custodian. This part is for the custodian in Canada. This first part is for the custodian in Canada, while this other part is to be signed and notarized in your own country. So that is the end of the form, and we have, this is the third part. This third part is just like attestation. The personal information provided on this form is collected by blah blah blah. You can go through this and read through it. Then don't forget to check through this form again. Don't forget, because it doesn't have a means you can validate like the previous ones we filled. There is no means for you to validate, so to confirm if there is an error or not. So the best thing for you to do is to just read, proofread and make sure all the information you are inputting here, you are giving here, is valid. You can just go through this form once more and make sure you append your signature to it. That is very important. Remember to append your signature here, and remember to date it. Then the stamp also, you can stamp it like by printing out the document and stamp. Then you can stamp it electronically also using Adobe Acrobat or any Adobe reader. You can stamp and notarize it. There is a way for you to stamp and notarize this also, if you know how to do that. But if you do not, you can just print the form out and take it to the notary where the documents get notarized. So that is how to fill the custodianship declaration, custodians for minors studying in Canada. So you can fill this for your children, you can fill this for your child, and it is possible they can also fill it also. All you need to do is just append your signature. So I think we've come to the end of this particular walkthrough, and next I will be on the next video. I will be teaching you guys how to, I'll just be giving a kind of walkthrough on how to fill the temporary resident visa for a visitor visa. Like if you are trying to apply for a visitor visa, let's say tourist visa, to just go for a short trip in Canada, the form is almost the same with the one we've treated already. The form is almost the same with the Canadian study permit. The main form is almost the same. So that will be the next video. So I'll be taking you guys through the walkthrough on how to fill the temporary resident visa. If you need any additional information concerning this form, or if you need any guidelines, if you need any walkthrough, if there is anything you are not understanding or you wish I could have explained better, you can just drop your comments on the comment section, or kindly send a mail. You can check our Instagram handle, our Twitter page also. You can send a DM. I will always be available. Till I see you next time, remember to do it yourself. Thank you.